us in our tracks. Bravely we prove in our striving, trudging together each day. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Leisure. Good you showed up, because if Instagram don't show me some love, I won't do it. It's not true. I quite often sit here and talk to myself while doing these. But I am going to be invading TikTok soon, here in the next few weeks. Be something a little bit different, though. It's not going to be quite the same. So I'm going to kind of keep it separate. After this, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start on the 12 by 12. We don't talk about, unless we go out of our way, we don't talk about the traditions. And if you don't know your traditions, what will happen is you will go out there and do something, and it'll waste your time, and it'll blow up in your face. And there's directions. I mean, there's literally directions in the big book for everything that we do. Yeah. Or in the 12 by 12. Maybe you don't really like the steps in the 12 by 12. That's fine. But those traditions are just one long 10 step on what not to do. There are a bunch of warnings. It does go on to say, hey, God will reveal more to you and to us. But really, what more is there? The only really thing that changes are the people. The situation, the circumstance has not changed. It's still alcoholism. Yeah. Alcoholism isn't like a cold where it can morph into something else. No, it's still the disease. It's still the same. If people want to keep studying it, go for it. If you're interested, I think that's great. But I don't think you're going to find some newfangled way. And when I say fangled, that's not a good word. I believe we're going to be on page 416 in the big book, and acceptance is, and acceptance is the answer to all my problems. Is it? Yeah, it is. Nice. Yay. She brought her headphones. It's just been better. It's just been better. That's all I'm gonna say. I mean, I haven't, usually by now I've spent a bunch of time on Facebook. Facebook is business only now. All right, welcome to Daily Trudge. My name is Jeff. Can you stop that, please? I'm talking. Thanks. I like fucking with my cats. I don't care. That's actually their scratching chair. I let them scratch. That's why I keep it. It's their scratching chair. Yes, I keep a whole chair for my cats to scratch. It's not mine. I'm never going to sit in it. I don't want it. If you're here, please say hello, whether you're watching the live or the rewatch. I think more than anything, I'm building momentum. I'm proud of myself because this morning I got to put this stuff together for the prescription drug dude, and that's in 48 hours. And I need a list of how this is going to go, because he's aware of what's going on. Blah blah blah. It doesn't matter. The thing I'm proud of myself about is I didn't get triggered, because I had to look into things, make sure I was right, so I'm not bringing up bullshit, extra stuff, things like that. So I had to look into the bully stuff, and that could be triggering for me, and not today, because it was business. It's just because I'm working with fact. I'm working with facts. That helps. And acceptance helped me, right? Whereas I wasn't really trying to get to things together to satisfy my own mind to correct things. Instead, it was another thing. Let's get to this. Ow. My wrist. I thought I was going to get away with not having it today. And that actually reminds me that I was going to call Denver Health First this morning and set up an appointment on their indigenous program, see if I can't get it taken care of. I'm going to start on page 416 on the last full paragraph if anybody would like to follow along. It helped me a great deal to become convinced that alcoholism was a disease, not a moral issue. Okay, so since it's a disease and not a moral issue, we cannot fight stigma. We can't go around telling people what morals they need to carry. No, we can just be a very good example. That I had been drinking as a result of a compulsion, even though I had not been aware of the compulsion at the time. And that sobriety was not a matter of willpower. People of AA had something that looked much better than what I had, but I was afraid to let go of what I had in order to try something new. There was a certain sense of security in the familiar. Ah, yeah. See, when alcohol, God, that sucks, because when I have this on, I can't scratch my back. It sucks. But anybody over 40 has one of these. All right, gotta get into a retractable one. Get it, just fuck the plastic ones. Get these nice metal ones. The satisfaction of a good itch. No, Kitty, you may not have it. He's like looking out of my shirt, and he's gonna. Yeah, he's like, where'd it go? Where is it, Dad? Where'd it go? Good toy. Yeah, it was familiar. I know. You know what? At least being an alcoholic, you have something. See, that's the scary part. It's like, okay, at least I'm somebody. I'm going to tell you that's better than being nothing. Talked about this a little bit earlier. Okay, being something is better than nothing. Even if it's bad, it's still better than. Okay, nothing leads to killing people. Nothing is just it bad. So there's a part in the big book that says, well, what's going to happen to me? Am I going to become the hole in the donut? This is a very big thing and so disturbing to the soul that it will actually hurt. It hurts. Yes. Through and through. Right down to your fucking soul it hurts. Okay? Because at least you're somebody, you're used to it. And that's not addiction, that's habit. Addiction and habits are a little different. At last, acceptance proved to be the key to my drinking problem. It was the key. It wasn't the solution, it was the key. It was an idea. What else is acceptance in this case? It's awareness. If you accept something, then you are becoming aware of it also. Good morning, Michael. Good to see you, man. Where you been? You've probably been rewatching. I don't catch you very often. I know you're there, though. I know you're there. So, I was going to leave Facebook, but there are just too many people that are watching me. So, at last, acceptance proved to be the key. After I've been around AA for 7 months, tapering off alcohol and pills, not finding the program working very well. Okay. Now, why wasn't the program working? Because they were still drinking and using. They were still drinking and using alcohol. It won't work. If you are tapering, your best bet is to put your ass in the middle of the herd until you are done tapering. But the program in and of itself, if somebody is tapering, I will not work the program with them. Because we're just going to have to go back and do it again. They cannot understand it yet. The alcoholic must be relieved of their physical condition first. Detox. It's going to take 5 to 7 days before I could probably actually get through to this person. Otherwise, it's a bunch of frothy emotional appeal. That ain't going to suffice, is it? It will not. You're welcome, Michael. Thanks for being a long time listener, man. We all need each other one way or another, right? I was finally able to say, okay, God, it is true. Of all people, strange as it may say, and even though I didn't give my permission, all this, I love the way this was written, and it's done intentionally. But okay, because if you put it in a sarcastic tone, then that's how they were doing it. Okay, God, it is true that I, of all people, strange as it may seem, see, it's really different, huh? Because now what are we doing? We're kind of joking with ourselves. Okay, I get it. And if we can laugh at ourselves just even a little bit, it's going to make it easier, even though I tread lightly on the word easier. Hey, Robert. Robert on Instagram. Good to have you. Good to have you. I'm weird here. I don't do flashy shit here. You get what you get. I don't people are like, hey, do you know how to edit? I'm like, no. But you've been doing that for so long. No, this is a grassroots, I'm gonna be wrong often kind of shit here. That's the way it works. We share our experience here. If you have a different experience than me, I want to hear about it because my experience is not the only one. That would be silly. Mm-mm. All right. Sometimes even now and again we have other people come on and they give their experience too. All right. Even though I didn't give my permission, really am an alcoholic of sorts. Even of sorts is fine. Yeah. I'm an alcoholic of sort. And it's all right with me. And it's all right with me. That's acceptance. I'm okay with it now. I'm okay with being an alcoholic. You
Move on, like,
Are you done with the background? Because that, okay. Nothing like hearing me. Good morning, Daryl. How are you today?
I got my coffee. I'm good.
Okay. He's listening. somebody's somebody's listening. Good to see you, brother. I love you. Now, and it's all right with me. Yeah. So now I've become aware that I am an alcoholic, but now I'm accepting it. Now I'm accepting that I'm an alcoholic. Okay, God. All right, you got me. Yeah, I remember March 16th, 1989. It was my first sobriety date. That's why I remember it. And I'm not going to go into the whole story, but I was homeless and I was headed. I was going to see if I could happen to get a bed. It was 5 o'clock. There was no way I was getting a fucking bed, but I was going to try. And there was this guy who was walking in front of me and he was carrying a 6-pack. I found out later it was a 6-pack of Pepsi. But he turns around and he goes, "Hey, are you okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not." This guy just knew something was wrong. He's like, "Something's wrong with us." And thank you, God, for the 12th step. Right? And he's like, "Come with me." And I didn't have anywhere else to go, so I followed him. I followed him. I have anywhere to fucking go. And whatever happened to that guy? I wonder. He's like, "Come with me." And we go up to this door, and it doesn't swing in. It swings out into the world. And I'm downtown, and it's dark, and it's dreary. I'm on Skid Row. Good morning, Ingrid. Good to see you. I'm on Skid Row.
Morning, everybody.
This door opens, and it was like this. It was like the light of God shining through. And I walked in, and it was the Phoenix concept, and I saw the AA symbol on the wall. And I thought to myself, well, fuck, they caught me again. All right. So now what am I going to do about it? And I think that's probably the most important line there. What am I going to do about it? I've accepted it. Now what can I do? All right. And I was in a 9 o'clock meeting, and somebody said, I only have 20 battery left of life on my phone already. Man, I've been busy, I guess.
Plug in.
Oh well. In a minute. I can't right now because I'm on Instagram, so my phone's being used. But he was saying how after he accepted some of those things that he felt gratitude. I'm like, yeah, acceptance leads to gratitude. That's how I got today's topic. But when we do accept things, yeah, for what they are, that if we can get to a point where we understand that God's world is perfect the way it is right now, and really, it's just my job to be of maximum service to God and the world around me because I've been taught that. Now it's habit. Then yeah, that now we're doing something. Um, question real, now what am I going to do about it? Well, the 4-step would probably be a good answer to that. What are you going to do about it? Well, I'm going to go to meetings. I'm going to find me a sponsor. I'm going to raise my hand and say, hey, I'm looking for a sponsor who can help out this hopeless, helpless, chronic alcoholic over here. You know, and go to meetings. I'm going to help other people. When I stopped living in the problem and began living in the answer, the problem went away. Hi, third kitty. Yeah. When I stopped living in the problem and began living in the answer, the problem went away. From that moment on, I have not had a single compulsion to drink. No. Compulsion. I may have had a thought, but a compulsion is something much different. That's when that obsession starts. Well, I think it's when the drink is now an option, I'm in trouble. If it becomes an option, it is a choice. I have choices, you bet. When I wake up in the morning, I have a choice. Alcohol or God, because I have two solutions in my life. I have alcohol and I have God. And I get to pick. I get those options now. When I first got here, I didn't have that option. The option was alcohol, and that's all it was. And I needed something bigger than that because it was clear that alcohol was bigger than me. Alcohol was my higher power, and 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 I accepted that, and I accepted it. And what happened? What did I do about it? Well, I continued drinking. I continued manipulating. I continued doing these things. And acceptance is the answer to all my problems, and it's italicized. Right? Why is it the answer to all my problems? Because being aware of your problem is the very first step of everything that you do. If you're not aware of the problem, right? That's why pain is the touchstone of change. Right? John's wrist is hurting, so he's going to make some changes. He's making some different phone calls. So he said yesterday, yeah, I went to Denver Health. They took care of that for me. So I'm going to call Denver Health. I'm going to get it taken care of. But I had to accept it first. I had to be aware, right? And people even ask me, why didn't you take care of it? I'm like, it wasn't hurting, so I didn't think of it, right? So it's the same thing, right? So when I'm disturbed is because I find some person, place, or thing or situation, some fact of my life unacceptable to me. And I can accept, and I can find no serenity until I accept that person, place, thing, or situation as being exactly the way it is supposed to be at this moment. My cats are going nuts. I don't know what's going on. Yeah, and this could be, I mean, there's a lot of different things to this. Like, number one, maybe they're doing something maybe that person is doing something that I'm doing that I don't like in me, a spot it, you got it kind of a thing. It just could be, maybe they're doing something that's triggering me. Maybe it could be a lot of different things. But if I can accept that person for who they are, then what am I really doing? I feel like I'm providing unconditional love when I accept somebody for who they are, even when they're having that bad day. Is it different for you?
Yeah, I don't totally agree with the broad stroke of, I don't know how to put it.
Mm.
If somebody is, I don't care, if somebody's just a jerk,
Okay.
I can accept the fact that they are a jerk. Doesn't mean I need to agree with it.
Yeah.
And he's probably not going to get my unconditional love.
Why not?
Oh, it depends on the person, dude. It's
Okay.
like, for me, I mean,
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
if somebody has stomped all over me, and I don't want him or her or whatever it in
Mhm.
my life, it's like, okay, that's what it is. I don't need to associate with that person, place,
And
or thing.
and that's a boundary for you. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. And thank you for that other experience. Absolutely. Um, you know, and I hear what you're saying on that. There's people that do things, and for me, and I'm going to say the same thing. It's just that it's just different. I provide love no matter what, but that doesn't mean I like you or going to keep you around.
And
So yeah,
that
I
doesn't,
absolutely agree with you.
and that doesn't mean that if that person ever came up to me at some point in the future and said, I need some help, this is what's going on, that I wouldn't try to provide that,
Yeah,
because I'm also a second chance kind of guy, type of deal.
yeah.
But you said something about acceptance, gives, you can get gratitude. It's like, I don't know that I can be grateful for some of the shit that's going on.
No, I feel like grateful and gratitude are two separate words. I am grateful that I have a roof over my head, but I get gratitude when I help somebody out. Um,
Right.
I don't think that unconditional love and gratitude necessarily go together for me. I don't think those. So I agree with you.
Oh, I agree
That's
with
just
that.
saying it different. Yeah. Because we can also agree with this. Nothing, absolutely nothing happens God's world by mistake. You know, we
Yeah.
can agree with that too. But that doesn't mean that I have to sit around and take abuse. No, fuck that. Mm-mm.
The reason that I was able to accept that acceptance part was that one statement, as it is at this moment,
hmm
because that opened up the door for the possibility of change.
Yes. Thank you. Yeah. See, there's always a landing spot that we can always agree on. And that's what we get to. Until I accepted my alcoholism, I couldn't stay sober. Until until that's it. Unless I accept life completely on life's terms, I cannot be happy. I need to concentrate not so much on what needs to be changed in the world as on what needs to be changed in me and my attitudes.
That I
And
agree.
that is go ahead.
No, I see that. I absolutely agree. I agree with.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Because
We've said it 1,000 times. There's only, well, my perception is there's only two things in this whole entire universe that I can control, and that's my perception, and this is a slippery slope. My
mhm.
response to that, or my
Yeah.
what I do with that,
Yeah.
and hopefully I can catch myself and not just be reactive,
Yeah. I'm glad that
impulsive.
you separated reactive and responsive. I thank you for that. And then you followed it up with I wasn't reactive. Because are we reactive people? Sure. But I'm gonna stop and respond instead. And that means I'm gonna take a few seconds to think about what I'm
Yeah,
actually working with here now. You know, sure, maybe this somebody did something. You know what? I'm gonna keep my distance from you. You're a child of God. That's great. But the way you act, I don't want you around me, and I don't want you around I might even be protecting my wife. I don't want you around my wife. The way that you act to do this kind of stuff. They come to me. Yeah, I may have some boundaries, but yeah, I believe that people can change. Absolutely, because I did. But until I see that action, then yeah, I'm going to have a certain trust level
I'm
there.
going to give them the opportunity to do that. Whether they do that or not, that's not my gig.
There you go. Yeah. Sometimes we have to accept the fact that you're that let's say somebody does something, they get into the program. Okay, do not expect a 9th step. If you expect one, you ain't getting it. Okay, so because I had people do that. They're like, "Where's my 9th step?" And I said, "You already got your 9th step. I'm sober." No, I'm kidding.
Right.
You
You're
know,
still breathing.
yeah, you don't have to worry about me anymore. I tell you, that's really all my mom wanted. That's all she wanted. She just didn't want to have to fucking worry about me. She got 4 kids. 2 of us are, you know, so at least now she just only has to worry about 1 kid and not me, you know. So, those are some of the gifts that we can give. So, all right, man. We got 26 minutes, man. I feel like I've been talking for an hour. I ain't getting up. I was up
You were up early, man. Up
it's
on here and going live early.
I'll probably be up at 7 o'clock every morning now. It's just that atorvastatin. Oh, what it was, man. It was God. It was God. Thank you, God. Because, and that's kind of a good example. It's what this is what was happening. What I was doing is I wanted to blame doctors for not filling my scripts, even though I didn't follow the rules by going to them every 6 months and paying them their fucking money. I still have a heart disease, so it doesn't matter. So really, in my mind, what I wanted to do was argue, but God was trying to provide me a
Bye,
solution a
Ingrid.
little bit. Bye, Ingrid. Have a good day. She going to her meeting. We'll see.
What?
She'll be there tomorrow for the noon meeting.
That's like your heart medication type stuff. Did you find something to replace it? Do you need something to replace it? Okay.
Yep. And I got more. They're just not in here.
Homeopathic.
There's more stuff that I'm taking, but I've gone more of a natural way, and I actually feel better. I feel better on the fish oil than I do the atorvastatin.
I used to take 5 of those a day.
Well, it says 1,000 milligrams a day. So
Well, they were 1,200 milligram, and I took 5 of them.
maybe I should be taking more.
And it lowers my cholesterol, the whole 9 yards.
Yeah. Well, it's not necessarily the fish oil, it's the omega-3. So the fish oil is a benefit, but it's got the omega-3. Oh, I should be taking 2 because I need 1,000 milligrams of omega-3, and that's 600. So I do need to take 2. Good catch. Good catch. I should be taking 2 of those.
Well, we did it. I did it for 2 different. We did it 2 different reasons. One was for my cholesterol,
Mm-hmm.
and actually, my doctor with Kaiser years ago was a Chinese guy, Dr. Chin, and he was way open to Eastern practices.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I mentioned that, he says, "Yeah, go for it." And the other thing was the eggplant,
Okay.
and just taking eggplant. That was for my blood pressure too, and it brought my cholesterol down to a healthy level
Mm-hmm.
and maintained it. So
Wow.
it's pretty in the fish oil and with the omegas. And that did that for me. I'm not recommending that by any stretch or anybody else,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it worked for me.
Yeah.
So,
Well, like anything, we're doing experience here because we
well,
go through these
I
things and we're
should go
not
back and do
doctors,
that
but
because
other
now
alcoholics are going to go through this stuff. Yeah.
I should go back and do that because they literally got me on a beta blocker and freaking blood pressure medication because of the diet that they recommend for diabetes.
Yeah.
Because I've got something going on with my eyes and blah 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 type shit.
Yeah. Mine's all stomach. And I
And
think
then
the atorvastatin was that and my the head med, number one. I think because of the duloxetine that I had to get my gallbladder removed because I was on that. So
It surprised me. It's like that was one of the. Sorry, I got way off topic with this shit, but
and this is what but other people go through this, and like we said in the Saturday meeting, that if it's going to affect our sobriety and our
dog
health,
shit.
that it's
If
a
a
tough.
dog shits on your lawn and it's going to upset you
Yeah,
to the
then
point where you
it's
might
fine.
drink, that's an alcoholic issue.
Yes, it is. Absolutely.
But
And now
it's
that we want to live, this is important shit. Yeah.
you know it's funny. It's like growing up. Probably you and I, even though we're a few years different.
About a decade
I mean,
apart.
I never heard of peanut allergies and gluten allergies, and you said your gallbladder got removed. I never heard of anybody getting their gallbladder removed,
Maybe
and
there's pain from hockey.
it was like appendicitis. It was happening all the time.
It's the
Like,
Western meds.
well, I think it's our Western diets too.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know,
My diet
I was
sucks.
just reading something the other day about the accepted ingredients in food, like in Europe. In the EU, there's 700 accepted additives or whatever they want to use.
Yeah.
The US used to be that way, and now we have over 10,000
Mhm.
accepted ingredients.
Look at the fuck I had for breakfast. This is
Yeah, well, there you go.
you know, it was and we'll wrap this up after this though, but I saw this meme and it was a jar and it was margarine, even better, low cholesterol margarine and butter, and the ants wouldn't even touch the margarine. And they're like, even ants no, and they're handing animals food and stuff. They're like, what the fuck is that? I'm not even gonna eat that. So that should tell
And
us something.
I am that
Away your
healthy.
bad food.
I am that healthy margarine guy. Smart,
I don't
smart
even
stuff.
know. I mean, I can't even trust. I can't go to Google and ask it because half the time it's just the information the government wants me to see. They're just gonna
And that's
you
so
gotta do
pisses me off.
digging. You gotta do digging.
You can't even trust. You can't trust.
That's
You
yeah.
know,
That makes it
because
hard.
even the information you go to look up is slanted somehow, depending on what that platform that you're using for a search engine wants you to see.
That's right. Whatever and it didn't. The internet used to just be. You could go and just get facts, and that's what it was used for. It was like a
Right.
big
Exactly.
fucking dictionary. Now it's all opinion. I can even go change your Wikipedia page if I want to.
Oh, no. All you got to do is hit edit, and you can
Yeah,
put in anything you want.
yeah, and make up
It's
anything I
ridiculous.
want, and because it's on. Go look up the principles. Go to Google and ask for the 12 principles. They're wrong. It's wrong. You see it.
Right. And if you do that, you're going to get 10,000 hits. And depending on where you go to with that, you can get 10,000 different fucking responses.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I use
shit.
Yeah, I use DuckDuckGo in the background because it's insane what it cancels out tracking wise. I'll have to show you that. But
Yeah.
you don't even got to use it as your main search or your main platform
Yeah.
like Google. But
Yeah,
it's just in the background.
It's an extension on it. Yeah.
It acts as an extension in your system.
Yeah.
Even if you don't use it.
In an engine in and of itself, but it works with other ones.
But if you go to DuckDuckGo and actually type in a question or you're looking for something, the problem is the results that come up in that half of them come from Google.
Yeah.
It's just ridiculous. It's so hard to find independent resources. I use I read, there's this thing called 1440 and Tip News. Both of those are unbiased. They just state what's going on. Mm-hmm. There isn't a slant to it either way. Yep. The problem with those, though, they have links as well. And if you click on that link, you might end up with AP or you might end up with, NPR. And those are absolutely slanted sources. I don't care if it's Fox or anybody else. It's ridiculous, man.
Help is
I
available
asked
by
for-
calling 988 Suicide and Crisis
And
Lifeline
I
at
asked
988.
for help for quitting drinking,
That
and
number
where do
again
they
is
send me?
988.
988. What is 988? It's the government. It's a great line, but it's not used for alcoholism. Why does it not have Alcoholics Anonymous at the top? Then we have the Sober app reward. North Carolina Alcohol Rehab, online alcohol, top medical assistant, how to quit drinking on WebMD, advice for coming down. SAMHSA, we have not gotten to anything AA yet. No, Betty Ford,
You know,
Port, Harvard Health, Healthline. Not even in the first page, nothing
When you-
mentioned Alcoholics Anonymous.
when you dial 988, you actually get options. Like
You do.
option
You do.
option 2 is for vets.
Is it? Now,
connects
I'm
you
not
to the
hacking
VA.
988. It's a good program. We need a crisis hotline. And God
I
bless
agree.
the people that work there. God bless them, because I couldn't do it. What a hard job. God
Yeah.
bless them. But let's
But
get the right resources for the right thing. Sure, 988 is fine, but where's Alcoholics Anonymous on there?
Well, if I'm in crisis and I go to 988, do I want a menu? Press 1 for English.
Listen to our menu, for it has changed. So you know,
Yeah.
they're required to say that. You have to say that, but the FCC makes you say that. I used to put together these phone switches, including voicemail. And it was funny because they were like, could you do our greeting? And I'm like, I don't get paid to do greetings. And they're like, oh, could you? And I would make them pay me extra to do their greetings so that when you called, you know, and I would do it for you, but yeah, and I got paid good money, but I didn't do that shit for free.
But if you hit 1 for mental health because you're having a mental health crisis, I would hit 2 because I'm a vet and I'm going to go to the VA and talk to somebody in the VA,
Yeah.
mental health person. But if you hit 1, you don't know who you're getting.
Yeah. The only reason they have the different ones is because what happens if I press 1 is it'll only go to a certain group of people, and those people are probably, like 2 for vets. So there, I press 2, and what happens is I will only go to these group of people that are recovered vets. And so that's why you have the options.
So I understand that, but when you press 1, you don't know exactly who you're getting a hold of.
Yeah. Well, but then maybe they help you get to the right person. Let's hope they do that. So,
Well, I have a friend that actually ended up having the cops show up at his door because he dialed 988
oh, you
and
cannot call
hit 1.
988. If you call 988 and tell them that you're going to commit suicide, they will call the cops on you. They're required to. So am I.
Well, he
If
wanted
you come
to
to me and
speak,
say, I'm going to hurt myself
but he
or
got.
someone else, I have to do something.
I'm feeling bad. I'm feeling down. Type things. But you're talking to a person at that point. You get that option. But the next thing you know, you're being red flagged, blah 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 type stuff. It's.
Oh, I know. Because I know because my file is red flagged. I've seen my file and some of the shit in it.
Well, and that was one of the things
doctors have to say about me.
When I got reevaluated for the VA, my advocate basically said, we need to, are you depressed? And it's like, I don't have chronic depression, but I go through periods of depression. Why is that? It's like, well, because I can't get on my motorcycle. Let's use that as an example.
Hmm.
And that used to be some of my therapy. It helped me clear my mind. So yeah, it's like I'm bummed because I can't go just get on my bike and go ride.
Yeah.
And so we were going to put that in there, and I said, I don't know if I want that on my VA record because I have a carry permit. And I don't want that to be affected. Well, it won't affect that. It didn't. And the VA sunk their teeth into that. And actually, that's when they bumped me up to 90%. And a big portion of that was because of the psychological shit that
It was a
breaking. Yeah, and the root cause being I broke my back, and these things have dominoed down to that. So
Yeah.
I don't know, bro.
Well, you know, and that's why
That was
AA is
acceptance.
the best, because we're not going to call the cops on you for any of that stuff. We take
Exactly.
care of our own. See, the government just wants to know how the fuck you're doing so they can supply you with whatever bullshit that you need so that you will continue doing what it is that they want you to do. That's
But I
all
mean, that was
it
again,
is.
that was acceptance. I was like, okay, I'm going to trust this person and what she
Now,
says.
but at the same time, there are some things that are unacceptable to me on that. And I will go out and I will advocate for those things. Like this guy, these are some of the
But that
questions
doesn't
that
mean
I have.
that doesn't mean you have you have accepted it. That's why you're going to go out and take
That's right.
action to reverse it.
So these are some of the questions that I have, or this is because I've had to put this together, and this is for the Call Consortium, their prevention, right? The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask them if we can record. Then I got a couple of questions for him. My first question is for him is, why do you do this? Why are you the executive director? Are you in recovery? If we can, are you going to take action? If
You
I
don't.
told you I committed Medicaid fraud, would you still hire me or put me in a position of influence? These are actually set up. Because if he answers yes on some of those, then I'm going to say, then why did you hire this person to do that?
You don't have to ask them to record, bro. Not in this state.
I
Maybe
mean,
you do it out of transparency, but
I want. I don't care if we actually record or not. The way he approached me, I did not give an email, and he emailed me, and I asked for a phone call, which means they didn't listen. I also, the person I left the message for was not the person that contacted me back. I do this stuff and I've told you this. I want them to put in that little bit of action. So I need to know I can trust them.
I missed it. Kaiser was calling me.
Were they? Maybe you should call Kaiser back. That's all
Yeah,
right.
if I do that and say you guys just called me, they'll go, "What?"
You'll have a
Because they
message.
won't know who the fuck called me.
Yeah. All right.
But no, I mean it's like it's amazing how you like you've hit a niche or you've hit a nerve with them, and now they're open to it. So
Well, now, and
it's up to them to accept.
Yeah, and it isn't just going to be me going after them. I have answers.
Well, yeah, that's not what I meant.
Yeah.
I don't mean you.
No, I
They're
was just
actually
following up
trying
what
to
people
improve
said. All I was
how
doing.
they're helping others.
Mhm. And I can
That's
show
the
that.
that's the motive.
I'm going to ask for public service announcements for 12 steps, whether that be NA, CA, OA, AA. I'm like, you guys aren't even doing that. So, yeah, but I really got to go to the bathroom and I'm ready to end this one. So, because we're about 45.
Cool, bro.
So, all right. I'm gonna go to a noon meeting and then I'm gonna be putting out a podcast this afternoon. I go ahead and do the traditions.
Which noon meeting?
I'm probably gonna go to Vitality.
I might try that today too.
Yeah, I'll probably go to Vitality. I haven't been there for a minute, and I know. Yeah, I need a cranky old man day.
that meeting is that.
Yeah, it's exactly. Yeah. It's just a cranky old man meeting. I fit right in. All right.
All right.
Love you, brother. We'll see you again.
Love you, brother. Bye, everybody.
And have a day. Oh, I love you. Peace out.